Welcome in, everybody. How is your evening going? As you can see, there is a brand new sponsor on the channel, which I discussed yesterday. So we're in a very, very good position. We are right here. Everybody is here. Welcome in, Richard. Welcome in, William. Welcome in, Mark. Welcome in, Mike, as well. We are here now. We are ready to go. I figured out what the problem was yesterday. It was nothing to do with me, nothing to do with my internet. YouTube went down around the time I was trying to stream, which was obviously exactly what you didn't want to have to deal with as a streamer, to be quite honest. So let's get into it. I'm okay, thank you, Richard. How are you? Need to know, is Johnston joining? Is too good not to have, better than Kane Wilson? Now, we're going to get into Mike Johnston. I posted a video about him earlier on today. Obviously, that's something which you are able to go ahead and check out after this stream. Make sure you wait until after the stream. We're going to discuss Kade Gordon. We're going to discuss the likes of Koki Saito as well. Obviously, yesterday didn't quite go as planned in that sort of caliber of getting things done and actually discussing things which I wanted to discuss because of obviously the internet issues and things like that, which were ongoing for me. Now, obviously, it is very important that as fans of Derby County, we all know what is happening. Johnston needs to come ASAP. He's too good. Very, very good player. Absolutely. Are you streaming on both YouTube and Twitch again? I am, because I just want to see if that is a problem. FC24, welcome in. I'm actually going to move my screens. Just give me 1 second, because then I can see the full chat on here. Do you think we messed about too long with Max Johnston? We've pretty much given other clubs free scouting that will trump us with bids. Now, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. We've got a fairly decent bunch of people in here tonight. We've got 24 concurrent viewers right now. So, obviously, get your questions in the comments if you've got any questions. And I'm going to go through some little talking points to do with the likes of Kade Gordon and things of that ilk. Now, hopefully the internet is okay tonight. Yeah, I think yesterday, I don't think it was an internet issue. I think it was a worldwide YouTube issue. I was doing some research last night and it certainly didn't look like it was a me problem, to be completely honest with you. Now, if you are new in here, hit like, hit subscribe, turn on the notification bell, let me know your thoughts. Make sure you head on over to like Twitch and TikTok as well. Make sure you follow me on those platforms. I believe we should have the labels and things should be working today. They might not be, so don't quote me on that. We've got a brand new follower in Dan Hindle. Welcome in, everybody. But let's get into it then. So we're going to start off with talking about Kade Gordon. YouTube didn't seem to go down for me last night. Did it not? It wouldn't let me do anything on the back end. So maybe it was just like YouTube Studio that went down rather than everything. It might have just been that. I'm not entirely sure. But there was a lot of people on Twitter saying that it had gone down. Now, obviously, there is a lot to talk about in this regard of Derby County and the likes of Kade Gordon and things like that. So let's talk about Kade Gordon. Anyone signing today, Lewis? I'm not entirely sure. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. So let's talk about it. So over the course of today, it was reported this afternoon or this morning that Kade Gordon was on Derby County's radar, essentially, and Derby County were looking at bringing him in as an extra option in those wide areas, which for me, I think is a smart move. Now, I'm not saying that Kade Gordon's an incredible player. I'm not saying that he's going to change the world for Derby County, because realistically he's not. He's not sort of had that game time. He's not had that calibre of football across the course of the last couple of years that maybe he probably wanted, to be realistic. Now, for me, I think when we look at a player like Kade Gordon, is going to be, for me, if he does come in, he's going to be just a depth option. It's not a long-term, he's going to be our main starter. It's not going to be a long-term sort of investment for me. It's something that's just going to fill us with an extra body for the next few months, maybe until January. But we're going to have to see sort of how that goes, if I'm completely honest. I really like Kade Gordon. I think he's got a lot of quality behind him. But the big problem that we face with someone like Kade Gordon is sort of finding that ability to be able to give him the game time that he needs to be able to develop and find a rhythm. And that's the bit that I think we're sort of needing, really. It's a player that has the rhythm, that's got things going, in my opinion. I don't quite think we have that right now, if I'm quite honest, with Kade Gordon. Saw your recent post on YouTube about the gaming recommendation. Can you please do Derby Road to Glory on FC25? FC25 will be something coming to live streams very, very... it'll be FC26, actually. That'll be coming very, very shortly. Booty, buddy, let's forget about our first time game. It was fucking shit. Yeah. The first few games haven't been great. Kade Gordon would be a good loan addition for us, especially considering he's a winger. We desperately need those, let's be honest. You're spot on. And that's sort of my view of Kade Gordon, really. It's that if Derby County can bring in Kade Gordon and can give ourselves sort of an extra opportunity to bring in a decent body who can have an impact at this level. He has scored goals at this level. It's not like he doesn't understand it. He scored for Norwich. He played for Pompey last season as well. So for me, Kade Gordon can have an impact at this level. The big question is, can we give him the game time needed in order for him to develop enough? That's my personal opinion. That's what we need to know. It's, can we give him that game time? If we can, then absolutely bring him to the club, 100%, no doubt about it. I don't think anybody would sort of turn their nose up at Kade Gordon. But I think when we sort of discuss what could possibly happen with bringing in a player like Kade Gordon, a lot of people are sort of really worried about that, sort of like his fitness and things like that, which obviously sort of do need to be discussed long term. And I completely agree with people who have that issue, but that's something that isn't going to be fixed overnight. Now, if we do look at Gordon's injury history, his big injury was a couple of seasons ago now. It was about a 16-month injury, which was pelvic related, in terms of he wasn't able to sort of deal with the pain threshold, which came from him growing, essentially. So he's sort of in that position where he certainly had the quality. He certainly has the ability to perform as a professional footballer. It's just about giving him the opportunity to do that, in my opinion. Hi, Lewis. Is Travis signing? Now, it's very interesting, the Lewis Travis situation, because I really do like Lewis Travis. I think he's a very, very good player. But ultimately, as it stands right now, I will just head on over to Twitter just to check that nothing has been reported. But as it stands right now, nothing has been reported in terms of that, of Lewis Travis coming to Derby County. Obviously, we had that bid rejected just over a week ago now. And unfortunately, nothing seems to have progressed from then, if I'm completely honest. But we are sort of waiting for that deal to come through. It's a difficult position, really, that we find ourselves in, for me, in terms of Lewis Travis. But we're going to have to wait and see. Once Langas, you're watching any games? I don't even know what games are on tonight, if I'm completely honest. Let me just take a peek. You've got Real Madrid, Osasuna, Tranmere, Burton. You've got all the League One games as well, haven't you, and League Two. I might chuck something on later on. But, yeah. Once Langas and Brewster get fit, we should get better with that Japanese lad as well. Playoffs. I'm not sort of putting my hopes on playoffs. I'd love playoffs, obviously. I think everybody would. But I think we've got to be very careful with what we wish for. I think we need to sort of keep ourselves calm in terms of playoffs and where we're going to be. Let's reassess when everybody is fit. Let's reassess when sort of the squad is there and ready to go, in my personal opinion. Obviously, everybody can have their own opinion. That's completely fine too. But we'll sort of see how that goes. Welcome in, Mike. 5 a.m. here in New Zealand. Internet screening you. Good you. Think Rooney make it or just on the bench? I do think Rooney will make it eventually. I think at the moment he's just in a really, really difficult position. Welcome in, Eustace Barmy Army. Vickers in for Zetastrom for Bristol. It's certainly something which is going to be discussed. I do think it's something that will be discussed, if I'm honest. Everyone except Travis we are linked to is either injured or has fitness issues. Yeah, it just feels like we're shopping in the wrong sort of market, to be completely honest with you. And obviously we've got to wait for ourselves to be able to get out of that market. It will be interesting to see what does happen with the likes of Saito, obviously Travis, Kade Gordon, if he comes in as well. Because we're obviously in a position where we need those players and want those players. But right now, obviously, we don't have the right number of players in. Now, Eustace Barmy Army, make sure you hit that follow button over on Twitch. Obviously, those of you on YouTube, hit like, hit subscribe, share it, the stream as well while you're at it. But let's sort of take a look through these comments then. Did you watch Leeds versus Everton last night? Everton robbed of a point. How that Tarkowski handball was a penalty blows my mind. Said he leant into the ball. Ridiculous. I completely agree with you. I was baffled by that, if I'm completely honest, because now, where else could he have put his arm? What else could he have done? In my opinion, there was absolutely nothing that he could have changed about himself or his body or anything like that to not cause a problem, if I'm completely honest, to not sort of hit it. He did everything he possibly could for me, and ultimately it just didn't quite come to fruition, and that is obviously a bit unfortunate. Now, hopefully, those sorts of things will be weeded out eventually, but as it stands right now, it doesn't look as if that is going to be the case. Imagine if we signed someone when you're live on stream, Lewis. The thing is, we nearly had that with Dion Sanderson. We was talking about Bobby Clark for probably a good hour or so, and I was thinking, oh, they're not gonna drop a sign-in at 9:10, are they? And then what did they go and do? They go and drop Dion Sanderson at 9:15. It was an absolute joke. I was tremendously disappointed. Let's put it that way. I was very, very disappointed in terms of them dropping that sign. It just wasn't nice for me. I was very, very disappointed with what they did. Now, on to the next one. Someone, the Black Cat led United crazy. Yeah. Whatever, no idea, to be quite honest with you, Jack. Our Chesterfield on tonight, good Derbyshire team. Let me take a look for you. Chesterfield. Yeah, Chesterfield are away at Gillingham. I bet it'll be on Sky Sports Plus, if I'm completely honest with you. Think Jake Rooney, Dejan Brown and Charles Abuka all need top-end League 2, lower-end League 1 loans. Would be interesting to see if any of them go to MK Dons in League 2 under Paul Warne. There's always that possibility. And that is the interesting thing for me about the situation that we find ourselves in right now with the likes of Dejan Brown, the likes of Charles Abuka, the likes of Jake Rooney. Because for me, if they're not going to get game time here, they must go out on loan. They have to be given an opportunity to go and play football. And if they're, like, for me, I think they need to be playing 20, 30 games this season. Starts, not just off the bench, 20, 30 games. And I don't think they're going to get that here, personally. But we'll obviously have to wait and see what happens with that. I think Rooney and Dejan Brown could go League 1. Charles Abuka, National League, League 2. That's where I'd look for him. But you want it to be a team that's going to win a lot of games, that's going to create a lot of chances for me, in my personal opinion. Bristol City can be lethal attacking-wise, could easily be a 4-4 draw this one. It absolutely could, And looking at Bristol City, there's going to be a match preview out on my YouTube channel tomorrow. So if you haven't subscribed already, make sure you go ahead and do so. And it's going to be interesting because if we play how we played against them last year, I could see us beating them, where we sort of dominate them on the counter. But the problem that we have this year is Caden Jackson doesn't seem the same player. We don't have a left winger as it stands right now. And we've got barely any pace in the team. So I don't know how that's going to work. I've got a feeling that Joe Ward starts at the weekend, but we're going to have to wait and see sort of how that goes. With the fact loads are not back until after the international break, we are playing catch-up. Unless we pick up points, we'll be playing catch-up for the top 6. IMO expectations need to drop to mid-table. I've said pretty much all pre-season and things like that. I'd be happy with like 12th and above, if I'm completely honest, but you can sort of let me know what you feel about that as well. We need people in for Friday, like a winger. Completely agree, you're spot on. We certainly do. When's the Veggie Man back? Brewster, people like that said to me back. Brewster and Wilson are back in training. Brewster played today for the B team. I doubt he'll be involved at the weekend on Friday. I think it purely depends on how much he played today. If he played 45, he'll be fine. If not, I doubt he's involved. But send Charles Ibuka to Chesterfield on loan. I'd do that. I'd have absolutely no issue with that personally. Got a random question for you, Lewis. Give me one unpopular opinion for you that you have about Derby County. Mine is that Liam Thompson is one of our best academy products in the last decade. So, unpopular opinion, very unpopular opinion, we never should have given Mendes Lang a new contract, and Erin Cashin going was actually good for the club. I know at the time that was a very unpopular thing to say, but it was good for the club when Erin Cashin left. It was for the benefit, in my opinion. When's the American lad back? I'm guessing you're on about Ajimang. Ajimang should be back during the international break. But I do believe that someone can correct me on this. I've had a few people tell me that he was training during the open training session, but I'm not entirely sure if he was involved in the group work or if he was just doing stuff on his own. I'm not entirely sure. I know when they did an open training session a couple of years ago, a couple of the injured players were doing bits on their own, whereas the others were doing something completely different. Why are you wearing red in a Derby related stream? Now, this is a Porsche hoodie, nothing to do with Nottingham Forest, don't you worry. We're not Forest fans over here. Absolutely nothing to worry about there. Obviously, this transfer window, it's been an interesting one. It's been, for me, one where we've made a decent chunk of signings for me, and the only problem that we have with the signings that we've made is that none of them are fit. He was training but on his own. Yeah, I thought that was probably the case, but I wasn't entirely sure, if I'm completely honest. But, like, we look at this transfer window, you look at the players we've bought in, realistically, the only one that I'm not happy about is Dion Sanderson. I think Danny Bath will be okay. I think he's shown glimpses of being really good defensively. I think he's just had moments on his own. Ajimang wasn't involved, wasn't even there, I don't think. I attended, didn't see him. Fair enough. I've had some people tell me that he was there, but I didn't know if he was training. Why do we love getting ex-Liverpool players in this window? Do you know something? There's nothing wrong with an ex-Liverpool player. If you've been at Liverpool, you're quite clearly doing something right, in my personal opinion. I think I'm going to try to pronounce... I think Ibuka should go to Luton for the season. Yeah, well, we call him Ibuka in here. That isn't his name. His name's Charles Ibuka Abadikizu, I think, but I call him Ibuka. It just makes it easier. I can say that. I'm not going to get myself in trouble. But I think he'll end up on loan when he returns fit. I think it'll probably be National League until January, and then I think they'll reassess the situation because obviously it's really important that he goes out and gets minutes. It's really important that he plays football, and it's really important that he develops. And for me, as much as I love players playing in the B team, playing for the 21s, the 18s, etc., they need to go out and play men's football. I think everybody agrees with that, if I'm completely honest. But right now we're sort of waiting for those players to sort of hit the levels that they can sort of compete with us and things like that. So we're sort of going to have to wait and see on that one. Saw Kmart Roof training with the first team at the open training session yesterday. Could be an interesting one to follow. I personally don't think he signs. I'm going to be honest, Richard. I don't think he'll sign. I think Kmart Roof is going to end up... he'll either play for our B team or he'll end up he'll end up moving on, going and playing League One or something, personally. Think you pronounce Charles Ibuka's last name Abawuda Kizu. Yeah, I think that's about right, if I'm completely honest. But obviously, I'm not the best at pronouncing names. We've seen that with Saito, if that's even how you say it. We've seen it with Ajimang and things like that. There's so many names I've mispronounced across the course of the last couple of years while doing these videos and things like that. Do we need Roof, though? High wages, I imagine. We've got enough strikers on the books, much more key positions to prioritise for squad numbers. In terms of Roof, I think it'll all depend on the circumstance with Ajimang and Selverson's fitness and what they want to do with Dejan Brown. Because if you can send Dejan Brown out on loan, in my opinion, you send him. I'd rather have Roof back up than Dejan Brown, because I think Brown needs the minutes more than Roof does, if that makes sense. So it will be interesting to see sort of how that goes over the course of the next few weeks. Obviously, nothing signed, sealed and delivered yet in that regard. I mean, you maybe think it's crazy about us, but bloody Birmingham want to sign Mitrovic and Oxlade-Chamberlain. Do you know something? it is going to be interesting, Birmingham. If they get Mitrovic, if they get Oxlade-Chamberlain, they've got to be going for automatics, to be quite honest. And if they don't go up, they put themselves in a really difficult spot, to be quite honest with you. And I know that many people are going to look at it and go, oh, but then they'll have a good team for next year. But what's the financial fair play looking like? Because they could end up in a pretty similar situation to what we was in, 3-4 years ago, where they end up, I'm not going to say they're going to run out of money, but they end up with a position where they've got so many players on the books that are really high wages and ultimately not able to move them on or anything like that in the sort of short term. But we're going to have to wait and see on that one. I think we might need Kemar Roof as backup if Brown or Ibuka go out on loan. Yeah, my opinion would be if they want to send Brown and Ibuka on loan, you've got to keep Kemar Roof, personally. Obviously, everyone will have their own opinions on that and their own thought process as to how that will work. But for me, I think you've got to give Roof a contract if you're letting them go out, or you've got to bring in another striker short term, whether it be loan or something along those lines, in my personal opinion. What is your predictions for the season? I personally think we'll finish just outside the playoffs. I think we'll probably be within that 8th to 12th position. I did do a live stream discussing the championship and giving my thoughts and opinions on everything that I thought was going to go on. Right at the end of that, did a tier list sort of thing, prediction for that. So if you want to go and check that out, it'll be like the last 20 minutes of that stream from a couple of weeks ago. But I think I put us about 8th, if I'm completely honest. Welcome in, FM Frenzy. Hope you're okay. If Birmingham sign Mitrovic, he scores 25 plus goals and Blues finish top 2. Do you know something? With the money Blues are spending, if they don't finish in that sort of top half, I'm going to be... If they don't finish in the top 6 minimum, I'm going to be surprised. Sign Up Damn Ball. Yeah, I don't know who that is, to be honest. Not seen us linked with any wingers still, apart from Kade Gordon, who I don't particularly think is up to scratch for week in, week out football. I'm not surprised. Many people don't want Kade Gordon, to be quite honest, but I think there's quality there. It's just about giving him the opportunity to find it, if I'm completely honest. And that's going to take a while. Now, whether that be with us or someone else, we're going to have to wait and see. There is obviously the link to Saito, who obviously the deal isn't yet done. Obviously, if anything does happen on the stream for Derby, if there is any links or anything, obviously do go ahead and let me know so that I can take a look and things like that. But obviously right now, nothing is done. Wow, 43 concurrent viewers. Congratulations, this is like the most concurrent viewers you've ever had. I think the most I had was on my watch along for Derby County versus West Brom. I'll just take a look. Just give me 1 second. Derby County versus West Brom, I peaked at 165 concurrent viewers during the penalties, but my average is between 40 and 60 across the course of all the streams I've done recently, and it's actually been really good to sort of get in here with you guys, have the conversations, and sort of see what you guys think about sort of the ongoing circumstances. Obviously, as we sort of head into this weekend's game, nothing much has really changed since Coventry. Now, I do actually have a question. For those of you that are in here, you're obviously avid viewers of the channel. So for my match day vlog for this weekend, I have a question. For my match day vlog, do you want it on Friday night or Saturday morning? Because if we do Saturday morning, I can... Friday night, no, live. Saturday morning, live after game. So give me your answers on this poll as to what you sort of want. If you're in the Twitch chat, let me know sort of your thoughts in the comment section. So obviously... give an answer. Let me know if you want Saturday morning or Friday night. Let me know what's best for you. We need a rapid winger like Raksaki from Palace, not a rumour, but someone creative like Mendes Lang in League One. I'd love Raksaki. If I'm completely honest, I think he's a very, very good. I think he's a very good player. He's a bit like Kade Gordon, really. He just needs those fitness levels for me. And if you give him that opportunity, it'll be brilliant, in my opinion. Used to spot me on me Saturday morning, brilliant. I'd rather you put the vlog out Friday night than Saturday morning do a stream. Fair enough, we could do that. Obviously, I want to sort of see what the best sort of route of action is for everybody sort of in here. Because if you're in here, I imagine you watch my match day vlogs. So I imagine you sort of have a thought process on sort of how that's going to go and when you'd prefer to see the things and stuff like that. And also, those of you that are in the chat and things like that, let me know your thoughts on like what type of games do you want to see over the course of the next few weeks when I start gaming videos and things like that. And let me know sort of stuff like that. What sort of things do you want to see? I'm going to do like Ballers League watch-alongs. We're going to do Premier League and stuff like that as well. Have I got this wrong? Did you say in your video about Max Johnston this morning that you're going to be streaming every day from now on? Yeah, I'm thinking in terms of like, I'm going to still do my videos like I've been doing for the past like year or so. But I'm also going to start streaming in the evenings just so I can hop on, even if it's for half an hour, 45 minutes, just hop in, check in with you guys, see everything that's going off. Agent TJ Parky, FC25. I'm not going to do FC25 because obviously we're right at the end of the cycle and I don't actually even have FC25, but I am going to pre-order FC26 and get that downloaded for once that comes out. Would like to see you stream FC26, Football Manager for the video game watch-alongs. That sounds perfect for me. That's something I'm looking at doing. I do also play, what do you reckon Jamie Order is off to? Do you know, Jack, I don't actually understand half your comments, I'm not going to lie. But it's okay. It's okay. Don't worry about it too much. But I'm big on Football Manager. I love Football Manager. I used to be massively into Ultimate Team, but I've not really played it since probably maybe FC23 was probably the last time I properly played it. So that's something that I'm going to sort of get into as well. NBA 2K26, I think that comes out next week. That might be something which I hop on stream for because why not at the end of the day. Obviously, those of you who are in the chat, make sure you hit like, hit follow, hit subscribe, do all those sorts of things so that we sort of know what's going off. Saturday next time. Is that for the match day vlog? Everyone seems to be saying Saturday at the minute. Saturday is winning. There's 8 votes in there. There's 42 of you in here. Get yourself on the vote. Get yourself on the vote right now. Let me know what your thought process is in regards to that sort of stuff, because obviously that's the important thing on this channel. It's getting the videos out that you guys are going to watch and things like that. And what sort of videos do you want to see from me? Now, some of you will know I have an F1 channel. I have a gaming channel as well. I've not really been posting in terms of the gaming channel at the moment, but I'm going to have videos and stuff from the live streams and stuff like that. Now, obviously, those of you that are in the chat, if you have any questions about transfers, anything like that, just drop them in. Think you should do watch-alongs where you go around the grounds, stream where you go through all the scores from all the leagues and not stream the derby games. I got the guts to stream Burnley. I will be streaming against Burnley. I will be live. I will be, what's it called? I'll be doing a live watch-along for Burnley, absolutely. We'll see what's going to go off this season. We've obviously got, at minimum, what is it, 20 somewhat more away games to go, and they'll all be streamed on this channel. That can be, how'd you ban someone on Twitch? How'd you ban someone on Twitch? I don't know how to do it. How'd you block a message? Ban. There we go. Yeah, there we go. We don't want people buying views in this stream. We don't want people buying views. That's not what we do. But hey ho. Well, we're obviously in a great position in terms of Derby County. Performances are kind of there. Results maybe not. What have we scored? 1 versus West Brom, 1 versus Luton, 3 versus Coventry. For me, that's fairly decent. Obviously, you want a bit more. Welcome in, Jamie. Hope you're okay. How's your evening going? Fortnite. Could play Fortnite. Could be something that gets put on the list. Obviously, those of you who are in chat, hit like, hit subscribe, hit follow. Let me know your thoughts on obviously Derby County's season so far. There's obviously a lot that can be discussed in that sort of sense, really. And at the moment, we are just one subscriber away from 2,650. So it would be massively appreciated if you can smash that subscribe button. Obviously, there's so much going on with Derby. Like, what's going on with the takeover? What's going on with investment? I know there's this there's this sort of worldwide sort of thing with Derby County fans where we sort of all believe that we are sort of under a takeover. It's already happened. There's many people that think the investment is already there, although I'm not entirely sure. Appreciate that. Jack, how will you stream the Derby away games that are at 3 p.m. and not on Sky? Obviously, you won't be able to watch it on Rams TV as you are not outside the UK. We have a sponsor on the channel who is very, very helpful in the sense of getting what you want when you're in the wrong location. If you check down in the description, we have NordVPN. Go and click yourself on the link, get yourself a VPN, #ad. But yeah, so there's always a way, Richard. There is always a way. Don't you worry about it. Where do you think we finish in the league with the way we've started the season realistically? Has your thoughts changed before the season? Not really. I don't really think that my thoughts have changed. I still think we're going to be within the top half of the division. I think we're just sort of waiting on, obviously, once those players get back fit, I think we're going to look a very, very different side, if I'm completely honest with you. The most important part about that is sort of seeing how we can quickly get into a rhythm. And I think if you look at how we played towards the back end of last season, took John Eustace 3 or 4 games, got us up and running, and we pretty much doubled our points tally in the second half of the season. So I think realistically, top half, I'd probably say around 10th maybe, but we'll sort of wait and see once everybody's back fit. Honestly, think you should leave the gaming live streams to the gaming channel and just do football-based live streams on this channel. Well, we're going to see how it goes to start off with. We are Richard and sort of see how that goes, if I'm completely honest. If there's not much interest, then we'll probably sort of move away from it quite quickly. If there's interest there, then we'll sort of chuck it up and keep going. Where's Koki Saito? Honestly, not quite sure. It's said to be close, but obviously at the moment, no deal has sort of gone across the line yet, unless I've missed something this evening, which, given the fact it is 20-7, Derby County haven't posted anything about it yet. Thank you for the follow. Bacon is healthy. Hope you're having a good afternoon. Any more potential sponsors coming to the channel? At the moment, there is nothing in the works. The last one came out this morning, which was CD Keys. Wasn't expecting the acceptance of that so quickly, if I'm completely honest. But it came through, which is obviously really, really good for the channel. It helps. It obviously gives you guys the opportunity to get things at a cheaper price. It also then helps the channel earn some money on the back end as well, which is obviously good. You said in your video on New Year's that you might be doing some holiday vlogs. Are those videos still a possibility? They are a possibility. I head off on holiday in just a couple of weeks' time, so it's something which I'm sort of looking to do. Did you manage playing Fortnite tonight? I won't be on Fortnite tonight, no, Jack. Got to shoot off Lewis run game fishing boat in NZ after Marlin. Thank you for your programme. It keeps me informed about the Almighty Rams. Appreciate you stopping by, Mike. Have a feeling we might announce Lewis Travis, Kade Gordon, Max Johnston or Koki Saito this evening. I have a feeling we're going to miss out on Max Johnston, if I'm honest with you. Obviously, it's sort of a difficult position to find ourselves in right now with Johnston's fee and things like that. And there's obviously more interest coming in for him as well, which we're sort of waiting to sort of see where that goes, because I think Derby County know what the asking price is, they know what the wage demands are, but at the moment nothing is done. So we're going to have to sort of wait and see sort of how that gets addressed across the course of the next week or so, personally. But that is something that we're going to have to sort of wait for, really. We're not going to get a proper solid answer for that unless he signs somewhere else, really. It could be something which takes a while. Do you think Travis will ever play for Blackburn again? That, for me, purely depends on whether we agree a fee. If we agree a fee, then I think he's our player. Quite easily, quite simply. I don't think there's much question about it. Is Gilchrist still available? I do believe Gilchrist is. I believe they want around £1.5 million with a sell-on fee and a couple of add-ons. Could you possibly live stream where you're on holiday? I don't think I can. I think I don't think the country likes stuff like that, if I'm completely honest. That might tell you where I'm going, but I'm not going to talk about it until I've been, sort of thing. Or when I post videos or things like that. How much longer do your live? So I'm probably going to be live for probably the next maybe half an hour to an hour maybe. We'll sort of see how much longer people are in here and things like that. Random question, but what YouTube channels are you subscribed to? That is a great question, actually. Let me take a look. So, in terms of subscribers, the likes of the Sidemen, so like Bazinga, Mini Minter, things like that. Angry Ginge. I follow an NBA YouTuber called DKM. Hashtag House, who are part of Hashtag United. I love F1. I'm a big fan of someone like Yana Watmia. Who else is in that? Life of Tom is someone who I watch quite frequently. His live streams. Matt Armstrong's a big one as well. Who else is there? Who else is in my stream? Who else is there that I watch? TGG, the GTA YouTuber. And then obviously like there's Solo, who's an NBA content creator. Tiamat Marduk, who's another F1 creator and things like that. Bacon is healthy. Sounds like Japan. It isn't Japan. It isn't Japan. Can you do Sidemen Sunday watch-alongs? I mean, I could. I'm not entirely sure what the rules are in regards to putting footage on screen. I need to read up the copyright rules, if I'm completely honest, because I'd do that on a Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening, or something like that. But obviously, I don't want to put my channel at risk, if that makes sense. What's happening with Isaac Hayden? So, Derby County are interested in Isaac Hayden. There's also interest in Isaac Hayden from QPR, and I believe there's another club interested in him as well. Now, I think for us, Isaac Hayden is purely a backup option for in case... what's his name? In case we don't get Lewis Travis, personally. I don't necessarily want Isaac Hayden, I'm not going to lie. But I think in a worst case scenario, I think he's got the ability to play at this level. But for me, it would have to be sort of a one-year deal, to be quite honest. I've heard that Koki Saito is pretty good. Well, from what we saw of him last year at QPR, I thought he was a fairly decent player, genuinely. I think he's got a lot of quality. I think he can create chances. I think he can put himself in really good positions. The big question is, can he do it consistently? And is he going to be worth the price tag? Because if we do discuss the price tag, like the rumoured fee is around, well, the value is about £5 million. Now, is he worth £5 million? I'm not sure. Do his numbers back up £5 million and things like that? I don't really know. But we're going to have to sort of see sort of how that changes across the course of the next few months, let's say. If he does sign, if he can compete at this level long term, we're going to have to wait and see. But obviously right now, we don't have that sort of consistency or anything like that. Have you tried that rematch game? I haven't, but it looks really good. I was watching Angry Ginge play it a couple of weeks ago with Jakey Davis and I think Chazza. And I thought it looked really good, to be quite honest with you. It might be something that we jump on the channel and jump on over the course of the next couple of weeks. I think you should do a live Q&A on the channel. Would be great on live stream, just constant questions flying in. I'd absolutely be down to do a live Q&A. It's just if people would be interested. I'm always down to answer questions. That's literally like what I'm here for. Like anybody can drop their question, anybody can do that sort of thing, to be quite honest with you. But we'll sort of have to wait and see. Do you think Vickers should start on Friday? Now, I don't really want to jump on this Zetastrom hate train, if I'm honest, because I really like Zetastrom. I think he's got a lot of quality. I think the problem that we face at the moment is that because the defensive line is changing so much, it makes it very difficult to sort of know if Zetastrom's the problem or if it's the defence. And I think if you look at Stoke, for me, I think it was defensive errors. If you look at Coventry, I think there's only one really that is Zetastrom's fault. But obviously, the problem with one being at fault is realistically that's the difference between us being still in the game after 70 minutes and not, sort of thing. But we're going to have to wait and see. Have you heard of Dream League Soccer before? You don't need an Xbox to play it. It's not even on Xbox, Switch, etc. It's completely free. That would be a great for a game shoot. It's something I'll definitely look into. Yeah, could be a laugh, that one, with some viewers in stream. Yeah, I think rematch would be like really good to play on stream. It was really good to watch, if that makes sense. So I imagine playing it is just the same. With all these transfer rumours, how do we have all the money for them? Or has Klaus won the lottery? Well, the thing is, Klaus isn't a poor man. Let's be completely honest. David Klaus is not poor. He's not footballing rich, don't get me wrong. Like, there's clubs in this division that are, billionaires, essentially, and we're not. He's not. But he's got money in his own right. He's worth similar to that of of Mel Morris, sorry. And Mel Morris spent a chunk of change as well. But we're going to have to sort of see how it develops for me. I personally think something's gone off behind the scenes. I just don't necessarily think it's been announced yet, if I'm honest. Why is everyone saying Vickers should come in for Friday? Zetastrom only made one mistake, and it wasn't even a major one. If he made another mistake on Friday, then I would consider it. I think we got into a circumstance a few years ago with, I think it was Keller Roos, Ben Hamer, and then David Marshall joined in the party as well, where whenever one of them would make a mistake, we'd change goalkeepers. And I just think it doesn't instill confidence in your defensive line. It doesn't instill confidence in your forward line. It doesn't instill confidence in anyone in the stadium. And for me, that is a little bit of a problem. You want confidence in the back line for me. And I think that comes with having a stable goalkeeper, even if they make a couple of mistakes, in my personal opinion. Who are we closest to signing right now? If reports are to be believed, the answer would be Koki Saito, who we've apparently had a bid accepted for, and they're on to personal terms and things like that. But ultimately, we don't really know. We're sort of waiting for confirmation of those deals. And obviously, as of right now, I'm just going to take a look over on Twitter to see if anything else has been said this evening, but I'm sort of in the expectation that nothing will really happen today, if I'm completely honest. But right now, nothing seems to be latest updates, let's say. Is there any news as regards to investors / an investor coming in? At the moment, there's nothing concrete. There was obviously a lot of talk about Arthur Blank. There was a lot of talk about Andy Appleby putting a group together. But as of right now, we don't actually have confirmation of anything going through, or sort of confirmation of anybody who really wants to sort of deal with those sort of things, if I'm completely honest. So we're sort of waiting for those sort of talking points to come through. Vanilla Ice and Jordan Ibe, 80% of Derby. if they've got the money, go for it. I'm surprised the speculative fees that are flying around as much as they are because of our past, but Klaus will know that and not want to put it at risk. Yeah, I'm not. In a sense of, under Mel Morris, it got to a point where I was like, right, we're getting done. Like, we're getting done here in terms of FFP. We was under restrictions, all that jazz. Then we go and spend 10 million on Christian Bielik and things like that. And it was, realistically, at that point, I was very young and naive, right? But I now look at it and I think those moves were an issue. Like, we shouldn't have been spending 10 million on Bielik at that moment in time when we were under EFL charges that were pending, essentially. But we did it, and that is one of the reasons why we ended up in the position we ended up in, unfortunately, which is a shame. Random question, but have you ever got emotional celebrating a derby goal? Honestly, I got emotional again when Kade and Jackson scored against Middlesbrough last season, as well as Max Bird against Carlisle. I am not going to lie, I bawled my eyes out when Max Bird scored. Was it Max Bird who scored the first against Carlisle in League One? I lost it. I was finished. Like, that whole situation was an absolute joke. Genuinely, like, I didn't expect it to hit me the way it did. And as a person who, obviously, some of you know I'm autistic, as someone who struggles with their emotions and things like that, I just couldn't stop myself. I couldn't contain it. But it was an absolutely wonderful feeling that afternoon. Honestly, wouldn't want an American owning my football club. I personally don't care who owns the football club. Whether they're from Siberia, whether they're from Normanton, whether they're from Elviston, whether they're from America, Saudi Arabia. I don't care who owns the football club, so long as it's looked after and we don't end up in administration with the risk of going bust, if I'm completely honest. I would kill to have an owner like Newcastle who have that backing, that money that they can put in. Obviously, they're a bit hamstrung by PSR at the moment, but with the money they've got behind them, like, once they sort of get out of this sort of rut of PSR, they'll be completely fine. And to be quite honest with you, if they let Alexander Isaac go, they could quite easily replace Isaac and make their squad better overall, but we'll have to wait and see. When are you expecting us to announce the Koki Saito signing? If I'm honest with you, I hoped it would have been done by today, if I'm honest. Because you want him to have at least one training session before Friday. And as of right now, he's not had a single session. He hasn't. He's not had a single session with us. And obviously, he's not yet been announced or anything. And we're still waiting for him to be announced. And there's nothing since that article which came out from Mike McGrath, to be quite honest with you. So we're sort of having to wait and see sort of how that goes over the course of the next few weeks. What is the best goal you've ever seen live? Now, they both happened in the same game. From what I can remember anyway, like there's probably games I went to when I was younger, in terms of where there's probably been better goals. I'm not going to lie. But the two Tom Lawrence goals for Sheffield United in administration, absolute stunners. Like, no word of a lie. Unbelievable goals. The first one, comes out from Allsop into Max Bird. Liam Thompson wins the first contact. Lawrence picks up the ball, beats one man, beats another man, beats another man, beats another man, then through the keeper's legs. It was an unbelievable goal. And then obviously the second one, Festi Ebiseli is absolutely unbelievable defensively, and then goes on to play the ball over to Fozzie. Fozzie back to Lawrence. Weak foot into the top corner. Like, you can't ask for more, in my personal opinion. It was an unbelievable set of goals, in my opinion. And they would probably be the two best goals that I've seen live. There's probably a Didsy one in there. Against Bristol Rovers, I think it was, where he pretty much scored from, like, the weirdest angle. But it was an unbelievable goal as well. I know I've said this before on a live stream. I didn't go on the pitch when we went up, and I so regret it. Do you know something? I had to go on the pitch that day. I was never putting myself in a position where I could look back and go, Derby County got promoted and I didn't go on the pitch. I had to do it. I did. I really had to do it. So for me, it was never a question for me. Carlisle game felt like a fever dream. First pint at 8, last at 2 a.m. Had to travel down from Liverpool for it, and I'm yet to experience an atmosphere like it. Do you know something? It was an outrageous afternoon for me. That was probably, in my opinion, one of the best atmospheres we've ever had at Derby. I think it's very, very equal to the Birmingham City game at home after we had the march. I thought that was an unbelievable afternoon as well. The best goal I've ever seen, an underrated one, Hayden Roberts against Shrewsbury Town. Not sure if you remember 25 yards out, Connor Roberts. Yes, I do remember that one actually. There's also another one. Who was it? Lewis Dobbin from the corner where it heads out. I take him back, Festi Ebiseli. Yeah, I think a lot of people would take him back if I'm quite honest. I'd take him right now. Good evening, mate. Sorry I'm late. What I missed, and was your Chinese yummy? Yeah, the Chinese was excellent. It was exactly what the doctor ordered yesterday. You've not really missed a great deal. We're just talking shit, essentially, about football. What is the best atmosphere you've been to? It would probably be between Derby Birmingham and Derby Carlisle were probably the two. And I think it mainly stems around the circumstances. Did you go to the march before the Birmingham game? Yes, I did. I've got loads of videos from it. I think I saved on my Google Photos. I'll have to try and dig them out. But yeah, I went to the march before the game. And do you know something? Being autistic, the march was horrendously difficult. But then I had no idea I was autistic. So it's weird looking back that since I've been diagnosed, I feel like I've regressed a bit. But hey ho, it's part of the game, innit? So hasn't Festi Ebiseli transitioned into a right back? Well, he was a right back when he was here, but we had to play him further forward because we didn't have any wingers. We didn't have any players. But I'm not actually sure in terms of what position he plays now. He's played 67 times at right wing back, 40 at right back. So you're probably right. Let's see where he's played at his new club, Besiktas. He's played right back and right wing back so far. He has. So we'll sort of see where he sort of fits in from there. Best atmosphere, Derby Forest 5-0. Yeah, that was a great game. That was. The best atmosphere I've ever witnessed was Derby vs Bolton in League One. Kane Wilson, late header. Unbelievable atmosphere when the goal went in through the roof. Yeah, that was a really good afternoon. It was a really good afternoon because there were, if I remember rightly, was it Wildsmith or was it Vickers who made an outrageous save in the first half from, I think it was Bodvarsson, made an unbelievable save to keep it at 0-0. And then later on in the game, obviously Kane Wilson scores a goal, which was like outrageous. It was probably the weirdest goal we've ever scored. Underrated atmosphere for me would be when we beat Cardiff 3-1 at Pride Park after the game got postponed because of snow. Do you know something? That was a really good evening. I went to it, and I have to say, the fact we won that game was very surprising. But we won the game, nobody can complain. Yeah, you're probably right. Wildsmith. Yeah, I thought it was Wildsmith, but I wasn't entirely sure. Wildsmith's doing his save against Bodvarsson. Yeah, I thought it was Bodvarsson. I thought it was Wildsmith. Because, do you know something? Like, I know a lot of people look at Wildsmith and are very disappointed in the way he left. In a way, I'm glad Wildsmith left because Zetastrom, I think, is very good. And I think that Vickers is very good as well. And they both now get their opportunities. Is Liam Thompson the best Derby County Academy player since Will Hughes? Hi, everyone. In terms of academy players that are still at the club, you'd have to say yes, because there's not many in the first team. In terms of since Will Hughes, I don't know, to be honest. It's an interesting one. That is an interesting one. Derby 4, Real Madrid 1. What a great atmosphere that was. Didn't we then get cheated out of the next leg? I obviously wasn't alive then. It's a shame there's not many places near the ground, because the few that are there basically just to accommodate away fans. Yeah. It's been almost 5 decades since Derby faced Madrid in the European Cup. Crazy stuff. The world is a crazy place and time absolutely flies. Those of you that are in here, if you haven't done so already, for 1, vote on the poll. For 2, drop your questions, let me know your thoughts. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Turn on the notification bell, all things like that. We're increasing the live streams on the channel and everything like that across the course of this upcoming season. So make sure you do stay tuned. Baseball grounds atmosphere was and will be better than Pride Park. Unfortunately, never got to experience the baseball ground, and I wish I could like go in a time machine and go and experience a game in the baseball ground with that sort of calibre of player, and unfortunately I'll never be able to do so. So I hope one day Derby County get themselves there. Lewis, during your time working at Derby, what was a funny moment that happened during your time working there? Jake Buxton used to call me the Biscuit Man. Jake Buxton called me the Biscuit Man because when I first started, the head of analysis at the time, no longer at Derby, he was either you make drinks like for all the interns, because I wasn't the only one. I think there was 6 of us. He was like, as an intern, you either make drinks or provide biscuits. And I used to take this big box of Costco biscuits in whenever I was in on a Monday, so that I didn't have to make drinks, because I don't drink hot drinks myself. So I was like, I cannot be making a hot drink. I cannot be involved in that. But like, I always like, the circumstances at Derby were brilliant. I loved working at Derby, and I think for anybody who is young enough to sort of have the opportunity to go to university and potentially get an experience working at a football club, you want to go to one where you get the opportunity to go into the training ground on a day-to-day, because it is honestly, it is brilliant being there. Like, I occasionally watch first team training, like, and it was really good to see how everybody worked together. I'd love to go in for an afternoon now and see what it's like with John Eustace, because I imagine it's so much different to how it was under Liam Rosenior and how it was under Paul Warne, because even Warne and Rosenior like were 2 polar opposites. Like, Liam Rosenior would just come and sit in the analyst's office and talk with the analysis team, whereas Paul Warne would do all his talking in his own office with the analysis team, where like the 3 first team analysts would go to him, sort of thing. So it was a really good time working at Derby. We've got 2 really good goalkeepers. Personally, I think Vickers will leave at the end of the season. I do too, if I'm completely honest. He's got, for me, no reason to stay if we aren't going to offer him first team football. And I think with the fact we've spent essentially £2 million on Zetastrom, I can't see us going and doing that sort of move to make him number 1, unless there's a big injury that comes the way of Zetastrom. What was your job at Derby? So I was a academy analyst, intern academy analyst, so that people don't sort of lose their shit with me, because I get a lot of stick whenever I talk about this on Twitter and stuff like that. But I was an intern academy analyst, worked as and when I was needed, essentially. I worked with everything from pre-academy all the way up to under 21s, and there was a couple of occasions where I was in control of IP cameras for first team training, which realistically you don't do a lot. You just aim the camera and do whatever else you're doing, sort of thing. But yeah, it was a great time at Derby County. Random question, but if you were a footballer, what would your position be and what would your stats be? Stats, give them a 1 for everything. No, I'm joking. I wasn't that bad. I was very much think poor man's Jason Knight. I could play anywhere. Right back, left back, played at centre back, played in midfield, played up front, played on the wings, played as a number 10. Like, genuinely, I played everywhere in the squad, to be completely honest with you. Lewis, baseball ground was great for 2 things: atmosphere and then battles through Norman Turner as the opposition didn't know how to escape. Fair enough. It would have obviously been good with you working at Derby and being it was incredible. On my first day at the club, I walked past Craig Forsyth and Curtis Davis, and like, do you know at that point, like, you get, do they call it imposter syndrome, where you just don't know sort of where you fit. And genuinely, to start off with, I didn't feel like I fit in. I didn't feel like I should have been there, but it was honestly a great afternoon, and I'm delighted that I did go through with it, to be quite honest with you, because it was a great time period for me, and I don't regret a minute of it, and I don't regret what I'm doing now either, to be completely honest with you. Hillsborough 1989, the end of the baseball ground, no more standing areas, meant half the stadium was unusable. Yeah. Can you do a full video fully discussing your role at Derby County and what it entailed? Yeah, I'll happily talk about it if anybody has any questions. I've got no issues discussing it, because I'm obviously quite proud of everything I did at Derby and stuff like that. When are we going to see Patrick Agimang? He'll be seen, I think it's around the international break. We're expecting him back. Random question, Lewis, is that an old coal shed you're streaming from? No, it was a workshop before I turned it into what this is. It had like tool benches and stuff like that in it. For the old, like the guy who used to live here before me, which was like 12 years ago, was gas engineer, did roofing, electrics and all things like that. So I sort of commandeered it, let's say. I'd probably end up as a CDM or right back, maybe centre back if I was 4 inches taller. Do you know something? My big problem when I played centre back was I was small. I'm not small, I'm like 5'10", 5'11", but in terms of sort of the level I was playing at, a lot of the strikers, like, it was, you had a big lad and a small lad. So I was always the guy that they targeted with the big lad because I was small. Smallish, let's say. What is the best way for a young Derby Division 1 Sunday League footballer to get scouted? My lad's trying to get scouted. Any advice? Welcome. Well, at what age? Give me an age. I'll try and give you some tips. Was it true that Pride Park was going to be extended when Nigel Clough was in charge? I believe they was going to raise the horseshoe shape and make it 42. I know that the season we nearly got promoted with Steve McLaren, I know that there was conversations and planning permissions put in for us to build the stadium, but I'm not entirely sure how much it could be built on, if I'm completely honest. You're going to watch any League One games tonight? I'll probably chuck one on once I hop off on here. If I'm honest, let's take a look. Have you ever got any Derby merch signed by any players? And if so, who is the most famous signature you have? Now, this is it's a rogue one, right? And it's probably not the most famous. It's not at all in the slightest. But I got Connor Doyle and Jeff Hendrick to sign my shirt. Was it Connor Doyle, Callum Doyle, whoever the lad was, right? They signed my shirt when they were under 21. I think they were under 21s or under 18s at the time. Like, they weren't even like in a squad or anything. We was at the ground I think I went to buy a new shirt. I was really young. I've got a picture somewhere. I'll find it and put it on stream one day. But like, I got a picture and signatures and stuff when like they weren't even sort of like first team players or anything like that. So it'll be interesting to see where that go, like, sort of, if anybody remembers those players. Forest are shy, yeah, they are. Score prediction for Friday. I want to say 1-1 Derby, if I'm completely honest. I'll say 1-1 Derby. I'm watching League One games now. I know I can, lol. Yeah, you might as well. How long did it take to convert your space where you're filming from now for a workshop to a studio? So, in terms of timescale, I originally started, it was like November, but we found that there was a leak in the roof, so we had to get some roofing work done. So it wasn't finished and completed until I think it was about April. But if we go back to like April on my channel, that'll be when I've sort of moved over, if I remember rightly. How long? 14 years old. How can you get scouted? Now, there's obviously lots of events in which you can sort of pay to get involved in. I'm not going to suggest doing that yet. But realistically, got to be good at the basics, got to be able to use both feet, and don't be afraid to make... It's all about reactions. Something I learned when I was at Derby, working for the academy, was coaches care a lot about how you react to mistakes. Now, don't get me wrong, yes, the quality's got to be there initially, but it's all about when you make the mistake, how do you bounce back from it, and things like that. And it's always difficult, especially as a youngster, when you want to make an impression, you want to be smart, but ultimately it's about making the right calls and reacting the right way, not shouting at teammates and things like that. Won a signed Wayne Rooney Derby shirt in a charity stream. Good on you, Bacon. Good on you. What will you do when you finish the live stream? Will you stay in your office or will you go back in your house? I need to film my preview for tomorrow morning, so I'll probably get that filmed. Then I'll go back inside for the time being. Are you going to be buying EFL trading cards coming out next month? I think could be a good idea for videos, also doing pack openings. I'm thinking about it. It's something that I think... Was it you, Kyle, who mentioned it to me a couple of days ago? Because it is something that I'm looking into. You moved over to this space now in September 2024, I'm pretty sure. You might be right. It might have been September. But it was the roofing work that took ages, because we had a leak in one of the corners of the room, which obviously made the roof weak and damp and stuff like that. So... So yeah, we sort of got that done. Then I sort of moved into here more permanently. But I tell you something, in the summer it gets hot in here. It is absolutely ridiculous in the summer. So I need to get myself like a proper like fan and setup and stuff like that. To be completely honest with you, 1-1. I'll get on William Hill. If that's what you want to do, Lewis, I'm sorry I was out of the room. Is it a coal shed? No, it was a workshop, Paul. It was a workshop. Thanks for that. Makes sense. No worries, Thriller. No worries. Lewis, I suggested it the other day about the FL collection. Yeah, I knew somebody had mentioned it. I did. But do you know something? Like, I used to do like shitloads of trading cards and stuff like that, match attacks, all sorts. I wish I still had them. Because I had like Ronaldo cards and stuff like that, and I bet they're worth a pretty penny these days. In fact, is there even a way to check? Cristiano Ronaldo match attack card. Let's take a look. So there's a man of the match, Cristiano Ronaldo, going for 500 quid on eBay. And I'm pretty sure I had like some of these cards, which is like a joke really. Heard we signed Jude Bellingham. Well, whoever told you that is lying to you. Hate to tell you. I hate to tell you. That has not happened. Obviously, wish it could. Richard, where in Derby are you from? Obviously, don't give out addresses or things like that in my chat. Don't want any of you to get DDoSed or have people turn up at your house, if I'm completely honest. Let's see. Is anything going on in terms of Derby County this evening? Has there been any transfers made? Who do you think is the GOAT, Messi or Ronaldo? Got to be Messi for me. Ronaldo's attitude stinks. Right. I'm not going to turn around and say that. Let's talk in terms of footballing ability. You have to say Messi. I don't even think that's up for debate. In terms of careers and everything they've done, I personally would say Ronaldo. I think he's done... I don't know how to say it. He's done more in more places, if that makes sense. Like, Messi struggled when he went to PSG. Ronaldo has done it and competed at the top level. England, Italy, Portugal, Spain, now in Saudi. So, obviously done it on international level as well. So, for me... I think in terms of overall careers, I'd rather have had Ronaldo's career, but in terms of ability, I'd rather have Messi's ability. If that makes sense. If that doesn't answer your question, let me know. Do you support any Premier League teams? Yes. I watch a lot of Chelsea. I like Chelsea. I like Crystal Palace. I love West Ham, if I'm quite honest. To be honest with you, I'll watch anything. I'm not particularly too bothered about it. I don't necessarily follow a specific team, but there's certainly teams that I would prefer to watch, if that makes sense. I mean, Harry, mate. Oh, yeah, that's fine, Paul. What's your starting 11 for Bristol City, Lewis? So, let's go starting 11 then. I'll go through it in a bit more detail tomorrow in my preview. But I'm going to say, in terms of starting 11, Zetastrom in goal. I'm going for a back 4. Niambi. Am I going for a back 4? No, I'm going for a back 5. Niambi at wing back. Rooney, Bart and Clark as centre-backs. Left wing back, I'm saying Fozzie. My midfield 2, I'm going with Ozo and Adams. Obviously, we've already done the wing backs. Niambi and Elder. Niambi and Fozzie. And in terms of the front 3, you have to put Adams in. I've got Ozo and Adams as the 2. There's the front 3. I'm probably going to say Vyman, Jackson and Morris, personally. If I'm honest. But it's one that can change time and time again. Ronaldo is probably only the 6th or 7th greatest ever. Yeah. There's so many different opinions in terms of where these players sort of rank and things like that. That you can no one's ever going to agree, and I think that's the joys of football, if I'm completely honest. Welcome in, James. Hope you're okay. Have you had a good day, mate? I honestly believe if Messi played in the Championship during his peak, he would have got 40 goals, 40 assists in a season. That would be really impressive. That would be incredibly impressive. If he could have done that, that'd have been incredible. Easily, maybe. Vickers needs to start. I think that in terms of Vickers, I think that if Zetastrom has another couple of bad games, you go to Vickers. Otherwise, you stick with Zetastrom for me. Messi can play in more positions and simply do skills others can't. Yeah, Messi does more that you don't expect, if that makes sense. I think there's more people that could play like Ronaldo than people that could play like Messi. And that's why I think Messi is a better player overall. I heard Brewster and Wilson are fit. Brewster and Wilson, I believe, both took part in the open training session yesterday. Brewster played today for the B team. Let me see if there's a match report out so we can see how much he actually played. Derby County, is there a match report? I don't think there is. Let's view all news. There's got to be... Why did they not do match reports for B team? Oh, yeah, they have. They have done a match report. Right, let's go through B team. It doesn't tell you. Does it tell you substitutes? Does it tell you substitutes? It doesn't tell you substitutes. It just says Ben Osborne, Dejan Brown, Brewster and Clark all got significant minutes as they build match sharpness in the early stages of the season, which is a bit annoying. I'd rather them just tell us how long they played for me. What's happening with Jake Rooney? I personally think Eustace is just protecting him from his injury last season. Got to go now, Lewis. Top live stream. See you tomorrow. Thanks for stopping by, Richard. Appreciate it. Rooney needs games. Completely agree, Paul. He's got to play football and he's got to play for us. Brewster and Bobby Clark started against State. They did. And they played significant minutes according to the match report. Which is significant minutes. Did they play 60? Did they play 75? Did they play all 90? Who knows? But I think that the sort of main aim of that is just getting minutes in the legs, not worry too much about the B team result. Does anybody in here know the situation with Cruz Allen? Because I don't, and I quite like Cruz Allen. I'd quite like it if he was playing football games again. Because at the moment, he's not been playing for Derby in terms of the academy setup. So I'm assuming he's picked up an injury. But I haven't seen anything from the club in that regard, so I'm sort of waiting for the club to sort of confirm nor deny what's going on in that sort of respect. I'm not gonna lie. Where are the transfers? Where are the transfers? Where are the transfers? He needs to start over Sanderson, in my opinion. Rooney is stronger with his tackles. Sanderson has just been awful. Yeah, I agree. I'd start Sanderson. Do you know something? I want one thing to happen. I want Saito to be confirmed, and then we can all go to bed happy, can't we? Once Saito's done, we can all go to bed happy, can't we? So, we just need to sign someone, don't we? We just need to sign someone. And that is kind of the problem that we're facing right now. We have no one. We haven't signed anyone in a fair few days now. And you know something? I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about it. I want us to sign someone. Can we start doing championship predictions weekly? If that's something people want, yeah, I don't see why not. I like Gilchrist, to be honest. Yeah, I think Gilchrist is a very good player. I think he can be very impactful at Derby County. If he was given that opportunity to come in and play, I think he could be very, very good for us. Is it correct that Koki Saito won't need to apply for a work permit as he was... Ooh, work permits. I don't know. He might need one. He might. I'm not sure. Go and sign Ellis Sims. You can have him. Currently Super Frank Lampard's team. I think Derby would get 14th and 15th. Welcome in, Lowry. Hope you're okay, mate. Decent result for you lot at the weekend. But we don't talk about that in here. We leave signings too late. Yeah, I think we do. I think we do. Put a poll on for championship predictions. Champ predictions. Yes or no? There you go. Got a poll up and running. There's your poll. There's your poll, Paul. Obviously, everyone who wants to vote on it, if you're in Twitch, just let me know down in the chat. I will be honest, I don't really know how to do polls and stuff in the chat. I'm not going to lie. We'll figure that out at some point over the next... Can we find it? Unban request predictions. Yeah, I don't know how to do it. Yeah, I imagined you'd say that. Eustace Barmy Army, as you put it in the chat originally. But yeah, if everybody chucks their thoughts into that poll, we can make a decision long term. Thanks, mate. Absolutely no worries at all. No worries at all. We hit 2,000. We are one subscriber away from 2,650. Someone in this chat surely isn't subscribed right now. Someone surely isn't subscribed over here on YouTube. Someone subscribe. I've seen people saying bad things about Eustace. I don't get why. It's 2 games. Just grow up. Yeah, I'm going to be completely honest. Anybody dissing John Eustace right now doesn't truly understand what's going on at Derby, doesn't understand the fitness position or anything like that we currently find ourselves in. And obviously, that's sort of an issue. When people don't understand the current circumstances, it puts us in a bad position for me. I'd love a point against Bristol City. That's the most we can expect. I'd love a point against Bristol. If someone said to me that the game is going to be 0-0, no shots throughout the whole game, I'd still go and watch that game. Like, I think we need, what's it called? I think we need that. We just need a point on the board. Makes everything so much easier once you've got a point on the board. I don't want to be going into the international break on a donut. And genuinely, if you look at the games we've got coming up, that is a possibility. It is a possibility where we could go in on a donut. Welcome in, Rising Apex. Appreciate the subscription. Welcome to the channel. We have now just hit 2,650 subscribers. So welcome in. Love in the chat to Rising Apex. Appreciate you stopping by. I see us getting nothing really. To be honest with you, you're probably not wrong. Yeah, we've got... What have we got after Bristol? Burnley and Ipswich. And obviously Burnley's a cup game. So if we don't get anything, we're a bit stuffed. Let's not lie. Eustace will smash things, please believe. I fully believe, I have absolutely no doubts in my mind that John Eustace will turn us into a playoff contender. And I know everybody will have their own opinions on it, and that's completely fine. And many people will be looking at Derby County and going, oh, it's just Derby, they're not an issue. But for me, I think we'll be fine. We can't be expected to beat the Baggies either. Law of Averages suggests they've got to beat us eventually. Scary times. Yeah, you're not wrong. Come on, guys. Share, like, and subscribe. Go on, everybody. Get it done. What do we think of Forest? I think everybody knows the answer to that question. Tricky injury list. Played away at Stoke, who beat us Coventry on opening game last season. Then played Cov, who are going to be right up there. I genuinely think Derby will be fine. Playoff team soon. Yeah, I don't think we're far away, to be honest, Lowry. We're just in a bit of a difficult spot in terms of having everybody fit. DCFCJ shit. Yeah, spot on. I hate to say the word for it, but Forest got 1 point in their first 9 games when they got promoted. Trust the useless process. Do you know something? There's a bloke who sits a row in front of me very, very occasionally. He comes with, I think it's his missus, who sits with us regularly. He is a Forest fan, right? And he comes and watches Derby games and is a brilliant bloke, really nice bloke, right? Sat next to me a couple of times at games because he just buys his ticket single. Doesn't have a season ticket or anything. And I have to say, when we walked out of the game on Saturday, he said to me, there's another team that I remember that just a few years ago had 1 point in October, sat bottom of the league, and they got promoted. Anything can happen. Don't write it off yet. And that is what I want people to remember when we're looking at Derby and we're looking at the situation we find ourselves in, is that we will find a rhythm, we will get ourselves into it, and we will be fine. Will we be playoffs this season? I don't know, but sort of long term, I think we'll be a playoff team. This season, probably no. Long term, probably yes. We have to say though that we play the proper football. Forest play the crap stuff. Do you know something? As much as I want to get promoted, I also don't, if that makes sense, because I don't want to have to deal with VAR and things like that. I just don't like VAR. I think it's a waste of everybody's time, and I'd much rather not have to deal with it, to be sort of completely honest. Like, VAR can get shoved in the bin for all I care. I absolutely despise VAR. Despise it with a passion, an absolute passion. It is just not my thing. I just don't like it at all. I don't. Right, well, we're heading up to 7:30, and this is where we are going to draw to a close this live stream. I really appreciate everybody who's stopped by, whether it be YouTube, whether it be Twitch. I am going to try and sort out getting TikTok streams up as well. But I do think this is where we're going to call it. Let's just get through these last few messages. If we went up this season, we'd end up straight down 100% another year or two. Spot on, Bacon. I think both us and Sunderland sat in the relegation zone opening month. Exactly. I'd rather see Derby finish 10th and not panic buy. I think you're right. I think we'll go down as Sheffield Wednesday. I'm gone, and there's definitely 2 worse teams. I'd take a good mid-toe. Yeah, you're spot on. See you later, Eustace Barmy Army. VAR can be so unfair. Yeah, we saw that just last night. Everton, wasn't it, with Tarkowski. VAR can be so unfair. Yeah. When are you planning on doing these championship predictions? Shall we do them tomorrow night? Yeah, shall we hop on tomorrow night and do the championship predictions? Lewis, if Derby beat Bristol by 3 goals or more, I'll buy you a coffee. Can we just do Derby County get a point? Please? If Derby County get a point? Please. But yeah, right. Thank you, everybody, for stopping by. I will catch you tomorrow evening. I'll be live again, probably around the same time, to get into everything. Derby County, championship predictions and things like that. So make sure you do stop by. And I will catch you then. What time are you on tomorrow night? Probably 6. Probably 6-ish again. Under 3 and it's only $1.99. Yeah, we'll go for that, Paul. We'll go for that. If Derby County pick up a point, $1.99. $1.99 in the chat. Right. So obviously I will catch you all tomorrow. Thank you all for stopping by. and it has been a good one. I'll catch you all next time.